Are you tired of this roller coaster stock market? I know I am. The Iran war spiked oil prices again and markets tumbled today. Let's dive into it. Before we do, let's go over a disclaimer. Please remember I'm not a professional. Anything that you hear or see in this episode, please don't put any money to work without consulting a professional. All right, let's get to it, y'all. Happy Thursday, March 5th, 2026. First, let's dive in and see what the indexes, or I like to call them the scoreboards, how they perform today. So all three major indexes were lower today, and gold took a dip as well. We'll start with the S&P 500. It closed down just above 0.5% at 6,830. NASDAQ fought back at the end of the day, last hour of the trading day. Actually, all three indexes did. Closed down just 0.25%, a little bit more, at 22,748 for NASDAQ. And the Dow took a substantial dip, down more than 1.5%, closed at 47,954. Before we look at gold, we'll see, remember we talked about previously, whenever you see the market overall down, we see the VIX more than likely spiked higher or moved higher. VIX hit a peak today of just under 26, came off that level, hovering around just under 24 today. This is not good. We wanted to see it below 20 for sure for the market to turn back positive. And with the spike of oil, we did see gold decline, down more than 1% today. All right, let's check out the top news of the day. Most recently, I've been using Claude AI to do my research. My name is Claude, so it's just fitting, right? All right, so number one, Iran war and oil prices spiked above $80, which, like we discussed, had the Dow plunge more than 1,100 at session lows. It says that oil surged past $80, which is the highest level since July 2024. Iran hit an oil tanker with a missile in the Strait of Hormuz. That will definitely make oil spike. Even after we discussed yesterday, President Trump said he was going to guarantee safety of transportation through that strait. That's obviously not the case. Iran's foreign minister said Iran is, quote, not asking for a ceasefire and sees, quote, no reason to negotiate. So it sounds like anything in the near term or short term, as far as a slowdown in what we're seeing as far as this war between the U.S. and Iran, is not happening anytime soon. Moving forward, China cuts GDP target to slowest in 30 years. So China set 2026 GDP growth target of 4.5 to 5%. And that's its lowest target since at least the 1990s. That's pretty crazy. It says Beijing is also doing slower housing spending, weaker investment, and a troubled real estate market. No bueno. I think China even made a statement today about basically a ceasefire and ending this war because it is definitely impacting their economy. Now, this was a major story. Nvidia halts China-bound H200 chip production. Remember, a lot of investors and myself was excited to see that the U.S. was supposedly or allegedly going to allow China to ship some of its not top powerful chips, but some of its kind of like mediocre chips over to China. It says Nvidia stopped production of those H200 chips intended for the Chinese market and is going to reallocate manufacturing capacity with Taiwan Semiconductor away from those H200 chips to its next generation Vera Rubin hardware. So there must be a lot of demand for the new chips coming out, that Vera Rubin hardware. Remember, Nvidia did not put any sales in its projections, so that's good to see. It's not really impacting the business, but there was a lot of people expecting some shipments, and it would help the U.S. Economy as well, because the U.S. was supposed to get a cut of some of those chips that they shipped over to China, but it doesn't look like that's happening anytime soon. Broadcom had an earnings beat, but failed to impress, and Corning, the glass maker, slides. So Broadcom reported Q1 earnings per share of $2.05 on revenue of $19.31 billion. And that topped estimates, and it guided Q2 revenue to roughly $22 billion, which was above the $20.5 billion consensus by analysts. Its AI revenue of $8.4 billion grew 106% year over year. That's pretty great, right? The company also approved a $10 billion share buyback. I believe shares were up about 4% last time I looked, just under 5% for the day, and they're down just slightly in after hours right now. Corning fell 4.58% after Broadcom CEO spoke at a conference and indicated that major chip clients would remain on copper sales through 2028, pushing back the timeline for optical connectivity solutions that Corning supplies. And last story, but not least, Trade Desk surges on OpenAI ad partnership. And then we'll talk about Trade Desk right here in a moment as well, because it was definitely a top mover. But those shares jumped more than 16% in pre-market off of this news. All right, let's look at the biggest gainers and losers for each of the three major indexes. For the Dow, Salesforce, IBM, and Microsoft, wow, haven't seen Microsoft here in a while, were the biggest gainers, with Salesforce gaining 4.68%. And Caterpillar, Goldman Sachs, and Merck were the biggest losers of the trading day. For the S&P 500, Trade Desk up 16%, Credo Technology up 10%, and energy majors, your ExxonMobil and your Chevron, with the surge in oil, those companies moved higher today. Sienna, McKesson, and Corning shares were down today, with Sienna down over 10%. That's a big drop in one day. NASDAQ's kind of the same story. Trade Desk up, Broadcom was up today, and Salesforce had a positive day today, while Sienna, StubHub, and American Eagle were down double digits for all three. StubHub was down 14%, and American Eagle was down just under 13%. All right, to close out, we'll look at some of the companies that I watch on the daily in my long-term portfolio. Meta was down 1% today. Robinhood took a beat today, down 2%. The oil spike created like a risk-off situation for equities and including crypto as well. So crypto fell a little bit. We're still above 70K. We'll look at it real quick. Bitcoin's at the time I'm reading this right now, 70,925 according to Robinhood. So still holding that 70K mark, which is pretty good because we were getting there previously and significantly falling from there. It was a big supply zone and resistance previously, but it looks like it's becoming a bit of a floor right now. So that's good. Crypto down, Bitcoin down typically means Robinhood's going to be down, but not that bad today. It was a low today of $78.55, a high of $84.74, but closed today at $80.56. Apple down just under 1%. Uber took a little bit of a dip today after having a nice run recently. Pretty much pared back its gains for the past 5 days. It's now only up 1% the past 5 days. Synopsys had a good day today, whereas Cadence was down almost just under 2% for the day. Amazon up shy of 1%. That's nice. Good to see. It looks like Amazon's gaining some momentum. DraftKings holding steady. That's good. They've been gaining some momentum past 5 days. DraftKings is up a whopping 8%. That is good to see. Netflix hit $119 per share today, but fell off of that, closed at $99.17. Take-Two Interactive Software, which is the company that makes Grand Theft Auto, that should be released later this year, down 1.5% today. All right, that's it for today. If you like this, guys, please join our Patreon. There's a free version where I share a lot of this relevant information. And I also share my real-time trades in the stock market as far as option trades and long-term investing. We have a portfolio that we build, and each year our goal is to beat the S&P 500's performance. We've done it successfully past 2-3 years, and we plan on doing it again this year as well. We're going to navigate this volatile market. So I'd love to have you in the Patreon. It is free to join, or you can join the paid membership as well. Please, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, share, subscribe to the page, comment anything that you like or anything that you didn't like or anything that you would like me to work on in the future. I'll see you guys in the next episode.